During World War II, Romania fielded a diverse military force that fought mainly on the Eastern Front alongside Axis powers. Its armed forces used a mix of domestic weapons, imported equipment, and captured Soviet arms. So let's begin. Ground Forces, Romanian Army, Armata Romana. The VZ-24 rifle, a Czechoslovak-designed bolt-action rifle widely used by Romanian infantry. It fired the 7.92 by 57 mm Mauser cartridge and was valued for its reliability and accuracy. Romania purchased large numbers before the war and continued using them throughout the conflict. The rifle became one of the most common infantry weapons of the Romanian army. The Mannlicher M1893 rifle, an older bolt-action rifle originally chambered in 6.5 times 53 mmR. It had been Romania's standard infantry rifle before World War II. Although outdated by the 1940s, it was still widely used by reserve units and second-line troops. Many remained in service due to shortages of modern rifles. The ZB-30 light machine gun, a Czech-designed light machine gun used to provide infantry fire support. It fired the 7.92 mm Mauser cartridge from a top-mounted magazine. The weapon was known for its reliability and ease of maintenance. Romanian units used it extensively during operations on the Eastern Front. The WWII M1941 submachine gun, the first Romanian-designed submachine gun produced during the war. It fired 9 by 19 mm parabellum cartridge and was mainly issued to officers and specialized troops. The weapon provided effective automatic fire at close range. Production remained limited, but it represented an important domestic design. The Beretta Model 1938 submachine gun, an Italian-made submachine gun supplied to Romania by its Axis ally. It fired the 9 by 19 mm cartridge and was known for its excellent reliability and accuracy. Romanian assault troops and special units used it in close combat. It became one of the most effective submachine guns available to Romanian forces. The Tokarev TT-33 pistol, a Soviet semi-automatic pistol captured and later used by Romanian troops. It fired the powerful 7.62 by 25 mm cartridge. Many were obtained during battles on the Eastern Front. Captured weapons were often reissued to officers and support personnel. Next, the armored vehicles. BR-1 Tankette, a very light armored vehicle based on the Czechoslovak AH-4 design. It was armed with machine guns and used mainly for reconnaissance. The vehicle had thin armor and limited combat value. Despite this, it served in early campaigns of the war. BR-2 Tank, a light tank purchased from Czechoslovakia before the war. It was armed with a 37 mm cannon and machine guns. Romanian armored divisions used it heavily during the invasion of the Soviet Union. By the mid-war period, it struggled against heavier Soviet tanks. BR-35 Tank, a French light tank obtained after the fall of France. It had thick armor for its size, but was slow and lightly armed. Romania used it mainly for infantry support roles. Some were later modified with more powerful guns. The Tacom R2 tank destroyer, a Romanian conversion of the R2 tank chassis. The turret was removed and replaced with a captured Soviet 76 mm gun. The vehicle was designed to counter Soviet armor. It represented Romania's attempt to create domestic anti-tank vehicles. The Marisul tank destroyer, an experimental Romanian tank destroyer project. It featured a low-profile design and powerful anti-tank gun. The vehicle influenced later German tank destroyer concepts. Only prototypes were produced before the war ended. Next, artillery and fire support. The 75 mm Resita Model 1943 anti-tank gun, one of the most successful Romanian-designed artillery weapons. It combined features from several foreign gun designs. The weapon was highly effective against Soviet armored vehicles. It became one of the best anti-tank guns used by Romanian forces. The 100 mm Skoda field howitzer, a medium artillery piece originally designed in Czechoslovakia. It fired high explosive shells to support infantry operations. Romanian artillery units used it extensively on the Eastern Front. The weapon provided reliable fire support during major offensives. The 150 mm Skoda heavy howitzer, a heavy artillery gun used for long-range bombardment. It fired large shells capable of destroying fortifications and defensive positions. Romanian forces used it in major battles during the war. However, its heavy weight limited mobility. The 81mm mortar, a standard infantry mortar used by Romanian units. It provided indirect fire support for frontline troops. Mortars could quickly deploy and fire explosive shells into enemy positions. They became essential for infantry combat operations. Next, anti-aircraft defense. The 20mm Oerlikon AA gun, a light anti-aircraft gun used to defend military units and installations. It was effective against low-flying aircraft. The weapon could also be used against lightly armored ground targets. Its high rate of fire made it valuable for air defense. The 37mm Rheinmetall AA gun, a medium anti-aircraft gun used to engage aircraft at greater distances. It provided stronger firepower than lighter AA weapons. Romanian forces used it to protect strategic locations and military bases. The gun also proved effective against ground targets. The 88mm Flak gun, German supplied. Heavy anti-aircraft guns supplied by Germany to Romania. They were capable of engaging high-altitude aircraft. The gun also served as a powerful anti-tank weapon when needed. Its versatility made it highly valuable on the battlefield. Next, Romanian Air Force, Aeronautica Regala Romana. The IAR-80 fighter, a domestically designed Romanian fighter aircraft. It was fast and maneuverable during the early war years. The aircraft was used extensively on the Eastern Front. Later, Allied fighters gradually outperformed it. The Messerschmitt Bf 109 fighter. German fighters supplied to Romania as the war progressed. They provided improved speed and firepower compared to earlier aircraft. Romanian pilots used them in both defensive and offensive missions. The aircraft became the backbone of Romania's fighter force. The Heinkel He-111 bomber, a German medium bomber used by Romanian air units. It carried significant bomb loads during operations against Soviet targets. The aircraft participated in several major campaigns. It remained in service throughout much of the war. The Junkers Ju-87 Stuka, a dive bomber used for precision attacks against ground targets. It was especially effective during early Axis offensives. Romanian pilots used the aircraft to support ground forces. However, it later became vulnerable to enemy fighters. The Savoia Marchetti SM-79 bomber, an Italian bomber used by Romanian forces. It was capable of both bombing and torpedo attack missions. The aircraft operated mainly in the Black Sea region. Its versatility made it useful for naval and ground operations. Next, Romanian Navy, Fortel Navale Romain. The Regele Ferdinand-class destroyers. Modern destroyers built in Italy for the Romanian Navy. They were armed with naval guns, torpedoes, and anti-aircraft weapons. These ships escorted convoys and conducted patrol missions in the Black Sea. They were among the most powerful Romanian warships. The Marasti-class destroyer, a large destroyer originally built in Italy. It served as a flagship of the Romanian fleet. The ship was heavily armed and used for escort and combat operations. It participated in numerous Black Sea missions. The Delfinal submarine, Romania's first operational submarine. It conducted patrol and reconnaissance missions in the Black Sea. The submarine also targeted Soviet shipping. It played a limited but notable role in naval warfare. The Black Sea mine layers, specialized ships used to deploy naval mines. These mines are designed to block enemy shipping routes. Romanian naval forces used them extensively for coastal defense. Minefields became an important part of Black Sea naval strategy. Next, auxiliary and special units. The Romanian mountain troops, Vânători de Munte, elite troops trained for mountain warfare. They operated in difficult terrain such as the Carpathian Mountains and the Caucasus. These units gained a reputation for high combat effectiveness. They were among the best Romanian forces during the war. The Romanian cavalry units, traditional cavalry units that remained active during the early war years. They were used for reconnaissance and rapid movement across difficult terrain. Some units later transitioned to mechanized roles. Cavalry still played a role on the Eastern Front. The gendarmerie units, paramilitary forces responsible for maintaining order in occupied territories. They also supported military operations and security duties. These units often operated behind the front lines. Their role expanded as the war progressed. Next, defensive systems. The Danube River fortifications. Defensive positions built along key sections of the Danube River. These fortifications protected strategic crossing points. They included bunkers, artillery positions, and obstacles. The system was intended to slow enemy advances. The Black Sea coastal batteries. Heavy coastal artillery protecting Romanian ports and naval bases. These guns defended against enemy naval attacks. They also controlled access to important maritime routes. Coastal batteries played an important defensive role. Next, support and engineering units. The engineer units. Specialized troops responsible for building bridges and fortifications. They also handled demolitions and obstacle construction. Engineers supported both offensive and defensive operations. Their work was essential for maintaining mobility on the battlefield. The Signal Corps. Units responsible for maintaining military communications. They operated radio and telephone networks across the front lines. Reliable communication allowed coordinated operations between units. These troops played a critical role in command and control. The logistics and supply units. Units responsible for transporting equipment, ammunition, and fuel. Romania relied heavily on railways and horse-drawn transport. These units kept frontline forces supplied during long campaigns. Logistics became increasingly strained as the war progressed. Despite limited industrial capacity, Romania developed several effective weapons and maintained significant military forces throughout the war. Romanian troops, aircraft, and naval units played an important role in many campaigns on the Eastern Front and in the Black Sea.